Not only can they clone people, they can bring you back from the dead.
Soylent Green is people.
Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Hope everyone out there is having a good December 1st, y'all. Finish the year strong. But we got a good one coming up today, y'all. We got some crazy things like always, y'all. Always happening in this damn world. Let's get into it. Let's have some fun today. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Not only can they clone people, they can bring you back from the dead, right? Scientists just did this, right? They just killed the rat, let the rat stay dead for over an hour, and then brought him back alive. But they noticed something. It wasn't the same rat. A lot of people don't understand this. A lot of people don't understand everything that they can do that you can do. See, people don't understand that you control your mind. Your mind is your only power. It's your original power. Whatever you tell your mind to do, it can do. But if you tell your mind it can't do it, it can't do it.
Soylent Green is
That's true.
people. So Soylent Green came out in the early 1970s. It's one of the great science fiction films of all time. Stars Charlton Heston.
Oh, I love Charlton.
He's a cop in the megalopolis. We've had such an explosion in population that from Boston to DC, it's just all one giant city. It's just all connected. So he's a cop in what used to be called Philadelphia. And eggs are $100 a piece. A jar of jelly is $150. There's one tree left in New York City, and they had to build a fort around it so it could be protected. It was the only tree that's left on the East Coast. And like I say, he's a cop, and he lives with this old man who was a professor. So nobody can afford to eat. So the government provides these little nutritional chips. There's Soylent Green, which is colored green, Soylent Red, Soylent Yellow. And it's like $1.98 a pound. So that's what everybody eats, what everybody lives on. In the meantime, there are such huge riots of hungry people that they have these big earth movers that just go scoop people up during demonstrations, and it throws them into the back of a dump truck, and then they just disappear. You don't know what happened to them. So Charlton Heston, he's barely able to make a living. At least, he's got Soylent Green he can eat. And the professor decides, he's 70 years old, he's sick. They have these that you can just go, you lay in a bed, and they show you a film of just nature, deer running around and butterflies and birds tweeting. You've never seen anything like this before. So as they give you the lethal injection, that's what you get to see. There's classical music playing, so it's all very nice. He runs to Charlton Heston runs to to stop his friend from committing. And he has to break into the place. He's too late to save him, but he follows the trail that they've taken the body to, and they take the body to a processing center where they're making Soylent Green out of all these people that they're scooping up at the demonstrations. And as they're arresting him and beating him, he shouts, "Soylent Green is people!"
Oh my God.
I've never seen that movie. I'm going to have to check it out. But I know there was another movie called Snowpiercer, which is a pretty good movie. Like the world ended and the people that are left are on a train, right? A train, and it just goes in a loop. And, the regular people, like the peasants in the back, they have to eat like little bars, like little looking like chocolate bars. Well, they find out that they've been eating bugs like cockroaches and stuff, and it's a good movie. I think I saw it on Netflix, Snowpiercer. I know there's a TV show called Snowpiercer now, but it's a movie. And then they all uprise and riot and take over the train. But it was a pretty crazy movie. But I'm gonna have to check out that Soylent Green. That's weird. Damn.
So here's something I want to know. When's the conversation going to get round to Hugh Hefner and the honey trap that he had going for fucking decades, and trapping loads of high profile people and huge elites and rich and famous people with all of the Playboy bunnies that he had living at the Playboy mansion? You see, Hugh Hefner used to have loads of high profile people that would pay this guy fucking shit tons of money to go and stay at his mansion, and where they would get the pick of the Playboy bunnies. And allegedly, Hugh Hefner had that mansion fucking booby trapped with cameras all over the place. And what happens when you get high profile people on camera doing things that they shouldn't necessarily be doing with women that are getting paid to do those things? Well, then you've got them on tape to be able to blackmail them, and you can use those tapes to be able to make those high profile people and to be able to make those rich people do whatever the fuck you want them to do. So again, when will the conversation get round to Hugh Hefner and the fucking traps that he had going on at the Playboy mansion with all of his Playboy bunnies that he used to pay either monthly or fucking annually, and it was millions in most cases that the Playboy bunnies used to get paid? That should tell you a lot about what was going on at the Playboy mansion between the bunnies and all of these high profile people and Hugh Hefner with his alleged cameras everywhere.
Yeah, they cheated, and they came in the locker room and they said that we couldn't say nothing about it unless they was going to find us because they protecting their brand.
Right.
They knew to take the aggressiveness out of me. That's what they did to me. Facts. Soon Sebastian get a little excited, tech him. That's what they did to me. Fuck the rest, nigga. That's what they did to me. And that had to come from the top. Right? Because I'm playing and I couldn't even say nothing. I couldn't even say nothing. One time, just like, told my nigga, I took the ball, I went, boom. I'm playing in Brooklyn, in my hometown. Took the ball, go, boom. Nigga, take me. I turned around, I wanted to punch him in his fucking face. Yeah. One of them refs need to get punched in the fucking face. Y'all cheating, ain't nothing happening. Y'all cheated somebody that's somewhere in a bad spot right now because of that. Last time somebody, yeah, let me get it, man.
See, like, imagine, you know how they say, like, these athletes, you know, are slaves, right? Like, imagine if he would have punched that ref in the face. Right? There is a clip from this year with the Cardinals, right? This dude was running for a touchdown, right, on the Cardinals. He dropped the ball before he hit the end zone, so it was a fumble. We ended up losing that game. Well, the head coach, you know, it was viral online, and the head coach came in the player's face, slapped him, boom, hard in the chest, like, and then when he walked away, he slapped him hard again, like in his chest, hard. So hard that his headphones fell off. That's how hard he slapped him. Now, he can get away with that, the master, but imagine if the player, after he slapped him, would have turned around, picked him up, body slammed him, and started hitting him. Imagine what would have happened to that player. You're done. Like, I saw a clip the other day of Nate Robinson. We'll try to find it for tomorrow's video. He was explaining how, you know, Doc Rivers, who was the head coach of the Boston Celtics, he needed one game to make $1 million. Like, it was in his contract. If you play this amount of games, you get $1 million bonus, right? So he had one game. Well, Doc Rivers sat him, benched him that game. A DNP, did not play, right? And he feels like he did it on purpose. Now, he said, what I should have done was just check myself in the game without any permission. But players were telling him, if you do that, you know, you're not going to be around. If you want to be around for a while, you can't do that. They're going to throw you in the G League. If you're lucky, you're going to get kicked out the NBA. See how they're in line, they're in check. You do as you're told pretty much still. You don't have all that freedom. Yeah, you get the money, the diamonds, the girls, but you don't got the freedom. Juana Man. Don't worry, a new cup is coming for Christmas, y'all. God, Mama Bear getting me a new cup.
Something big is brewing in America. Yesterday, Donald Trump suspended all immigration from Afghanistan after a man shot 2 National Guard members in the head. Not just on US soil, but only blocks away from the White House. And today, this is being treated as a massive deal. The FBI are investigating the incident as a possible act of international terrorism. We've seen statements from former presidents like Barack Obama and Joe Biden. Trump called it a crime against the entire nation. And they've even now deployed 500 more National Guard members to Washington on top of the over 2,000 already there. Now, the suspect was recently identified as a 29-year-old national from Afghanistan who entered the country in 2021 under Operation Allies Welcome. Other National Guard members nearby shot him 4 times, which he survived, and then apprehended him. He's apparently not cooperating in questioning by authorities, but the wild twist in this whole story is that the CIA director John Ratcliffe told Fox News that the shooter actually worked with the US government, including the CIA, while he was still in Afghanistan, which is why he was allowed to come into the US. So why now he has suddenly switched and carried something like this out is a complete mystery. But of course, I'll keep you guys updated as we know more.
You know what's so crazy? That barely was breaking news for a day. A terrorist attack. Remember January 1st in New Orleans? That dude had the flag. I don't want to say the word, but we know the black flag of the opposition, right? That we're constantly fighting. That group of people, right? Barely, terrorist attacks ain't even breaking news no more. That's how crazy and how constantly flooded with news on the daily we are. Where a terrorist attack that just happened in Washington, D.C. on Christmas, what was it? On Thanksgiving Eve. And then January 1st on New Year's Day, a dude with that flag, who they tried to hide from us. They didn't even want to tell us that was involved. What's going to happen this year, y'all? January 1st. What's going to happen?
Are we all being distracted from a global financial crash right now? Now, there's a few weird sequence of events, starting with this. The founder of the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, has started his own academy to get people ready for the intelligence age.
The tremendous changes which will be caused by the transformation from the industrial to the intelligent age. The intelligent age is based on a combination of many life-changing.
And if you guys have no idea about the World Economic Forum, it is a non-profit organization collective filled with globalists and elites that make decisions on your behalf. Now, earlier this year, he stepped down from his position from the World Economic Forum. Now we see why to start this academy to get people prepared, which is pretty weird. But it gets even weirder. You guys, they are dropping more signs yet again, because why did the Timberwolves post this picture of Anthony Edwards and Rod Dillingham going to a game? And what is he wearing? Let's take a look. Yeah, it says 2008 global financial crisis. What?
Like, who wears
Now the
that?
question is, why would he wear this when he was only 3 years old when this crash happened? And if you guys know anything about the 2008 crash, in which was the greatest crash since the Great Depression, wiped out over $2 trillion globally, which was predicted by Michael Burry 3 years before the crash in 2005. Which is a nice coincidence that he was wearing this hoodie and he was born the same year in 2005 when the market crash was predicted. Interesting. Not to mention the brand new standard for all banks globally, ISO 222, just passed November 22nd, but nobody knew this. In short, this standard is for cross-border payments globally, implementing blockchain, crypto, etc. So my prediction is we're going to see a big run-up, then a crash, or a crash, then a run-up. But something's about to happen. Now, if all that isn't weird enough for you, you guys, that deadline date is the same date as JFK's assassination, November 22nd, in which he was trying to change the financial system as well. So there's that. Make sure you guys go to my YouTube, The Maverick Approach, but let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
I mean, guys, something has to happen financially with this country, with this world. Not only is it bad in America, it's bad all over the world. Our house is skyrocketed. People forget that. People make a big deal about the boomers and Gen Zers. No, just in 2020, I think 2021 it started going up. Just in 2020, this same $400,000 house was $160,000 with a 2.9% interest rate. Gas was under $2. I remember I got pictures on my phone still that I would send my parents. Look at this gas I'm putting right now. It's $1.98, $1.95. Groceries, everything just went through the roof. House, everything. So it's got to come down, and it's got to come down drastically because it went up drastically. When is it going to happen? I don't know, but there's people predicting it. I mean, a blind man can see this coming. Just how quick everything, cars, clothes, electronics, everything just went through the roof.
Greta Thunberg, she dyed the Venice canals green, so that's what it looks like. That's disgusting. I was there this summer. Venice is so gorgeous and so ancient, and to have this self-important twat pour a bunch of green dye into that water, you should go to jail for that.
Did you hear Mr. Beast announced he's partnered now with the Rockefeller Foundation? And we got to talk about this for a second because, dude, you don't get on YouTube's trending tab every single day without making a deal, without making a serious deal. It's not random. Yes, you can grow a YouTube channel, of course you can. But to get to that level of viewership, something needs to be signed. They don't let people have that much influence without making sure they have some control over them, if not total control. Now, we already found out that Mr. Beast is a part of that talent agency that also like owns Kai Cenat and a couple other super famous people that is connected to Disney, by the way. And remember when his top guy, Chris Tyson, turned to Ava Chris Tyson, and like people were wondering if that had to happen or was like made to happen, because we know 99% of his audience is children anyway. People wonder about that. It could just be nothing though. But my point is, partnering with the Rockefeller Foundation, last I checked, those are, that's kind of the club that we're not in. Central banking system, this whole thing. So now he's partnered with them. Holy Kreipenheimer. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more.
Look, you're not human. You are not human. What are you? Oh, look at her. She's glitching. She's an NPC. This is creepy.
Let me know your thoughts and comments down below.
Some superstars took a different route. I ain't get on here to talk about that much, but some of that shit come with some demonic shit, some dark shit. You feel me?
Yeah. What the hell is going on this planet? According to NASA, an underwater volcano nicknamed Sharkano erupted yesterday and released mutant sharks. Now, mind you, these sharks have been surviving. Let me say that again. Living and surviving in that volcano in that acidic, hot-ass water. And now they lose. It's like every day we get another movie to play with. Now, what kind of movie is this? Sharknado? So 2024, basically what you're saying is, first, the drones. Then, it's too many dens to go through. So we have mutant sharks swimming around in these waters. What's next? It's another reason why I say I'm never going on no more cruises. I done went on all the cruises I'm going to go on. I'm not swimming in no nothing. I ain't going to no beaches. I'm not doing none of that. Because for this shit to be going on, it's something crazy. My question to scientists and the people who know about this, how were these sharks surviving in those type of conditions? We wouldn't be able to survive there. Let me ask you a question. Are the sharks the ill? I ain't going to say it. I'm out.
Alright, so are aliens extraterrestrial or are they actually demons? Anytime I do a video about alien abduction, this always comes up, so let's talk about it. So abduction stories resemble older accounts of demonic oppression, paralysis, missing time, and voices in the mind that could be telepathic aliens or it could be demonic voices inside your head. And don't get me wrong, pastors, priests, rabbis, and even some Islamic scholars have publicly suggested that alien beings might be jinn or demons or any other spiritual entities described in sacred text. And the argument or reasoning behind this is that they say true extraterrestrials, if created by God, that's the key point here, that they should follow the same moral order as the rest of creation. Which makes zero sense to me because there's some truly evil humans in the world. So why should aliens have to follow that moral code? But the beings described in abduction narratives often behave in ways that are manipulative, invasive, and morally ambitious. And these traits are more consistent with malevolent spiritual forces than the curious scientists from distant worlds. But not every story that you hear about alien encounters or abductions are on the evil side. I personally believe that they're more biological and extraterrestrial. There's galaxy after galaxy after galaxy, there's got to be other beings out there. But you have people like Joe Jordan, who is a longtime UFO researcher who began investigating sightings in the early 1990s. And after decades of investigation, Jordan claims to have compiled hundreds of testimonies in which individuals say that abduction episodes stopped abruptly when they invoke the name of Jesus Christ. So he interprets that evidence that these beings are not visitors from other worlds, but demonic or spiritual entities. Even if you look at the Miami Mall incident, I hear more people say that it was demons coming through portals than it was actually aliens from another world. But the debate's going to continue, fueled by centuries of mysterious encounters in a modern world that still doesn't have all the answers. But what do y'all think about this? Is it aliens or is it demons? Or could it be both, and they all just want to play with your butt apparently?
Bruh, what is going on in the skies right now? Because this ain't normal. Airlines all across the world just started canceling and delaying flights. All because a software update on one of the most common planes in the sky started acting weird, y'all. And get this, analysts think that the same computer glitch might have played a role in the JetBlue plane altitude suddenly dropping last month. Imagine you on a plane just chilling, relaxing, and all of a sudden the joint just nosedive or just drop out of nowhere, all because of a code update. Then the Airbus came out and said something completely even crazier. They are investigating and found signs of intense solar radiation may have corrupted data inside the flight control systems. So we talking solar radiation, like the sun is now messing with planes. Y'all remember them 2 blackouts? Now we having plane blackouts. I don't know what's happening, y'all. Between the radiation and the software glitches and a plane suddenly dropping altitude, all I'm gonna tell you, something is not adding up.
Kim Kardashian got a brain scan, and the doctor basically told her it looked like somebody took a bite out of her shit. She didn't need a brain scan to tell her that she had holes in her brain. Those holes mean she has low activity in her brain. I know it was hard for that doctor to sit there and be like, yo, you missing some shit. He tried to be professional and bail her out and be nice about it, saying it's probably stress. The stress is causing you to, not think so clearly. But I find that hard to believe. Every time I was stressed in life, I kicked it into 6th gear and everything gets done. And that's coming from somebody who had multiple concussions. My memory is shot. Even though my memory's gone, my cognitive functions work just fine. A casual conversation with Kim Kardashian could tell you that she has holes in her brain. Her mind retired years ago. Even Kanye was saying that she's not creative and she really can't think for herself. All her ideas came from him. She's cool because of him. I know she's mad she invited that camera crew in to see the test results from her brain scan, because she was expecting to flex on everybody. She's waiting to be like, yo, I'm trying to tell y'all I'm smart, but the brain scan reveals that is a lie. She was not trying to find out that her brain has dead zones.
So it's like 1 o'clock in the morning right now, and I'm sitting here watching Transformers, the first one, and there is a Transformer that's name is Megatron, and he's an evil one, and there is a black cube that they're all in search for, and this black cube is underneath the Hoover Dam in this movie. Well, if you go do some research about the Hoover Dam, yeah, I think there's something underneath that Hoover Dam, and it might be the black cube. And I'm sure a lot of you guys know about the black cube. And then you got the Metatron. Go watch that movie again with new eyes, and then go research the Hoover Dam. Let me know what y'all think.
I seen a nigga lose all sense of himself. I seen a nigga forget how to talk. Seen a nigga forget how to walk. Niggas move around that hoe like zombies, nigga, when it ain't okay too.
Yeah, is that the worst drug you feel hit the penitentiary system?
From my personal experience, yeah, that's the worst one. It was the worst one, but it also was the most accessible one. Because it was something you couldn't test dirty for. But the only way that you could tell if niggas was smoking K2 was by looking at their fingertips. It was something about the K2 that bled onto the skin.
It's a good book. Yes, sir, in the back. We all saw the video of the planes crashing in the building. How do we explain that?
We explain that with technology that is further ahead than what we understand currently. They used something that was like holograms, but that I believe also had solidity to them. They were more than just holograms. They were some kind of things that can also create sound and light and solidity of some kind. That's how I would say that.
Nobody's talking about this, but a new report just dropped, and it got a lot of people nervous. They are saying doctors are now seeing a new health risk linked to heavy, long-term use of cannabis. And the crazy part is, they're trying to say that it's extremely hard to treat it. Now, I'm not telling y'all to stop blowing down. I'm just trying to inform y'all on what the reports were saying. Now, what I am going to say is, nobody noticed ever since they started putting cannabis inside of the dispensaries, shit's been happening. I can't be the only one, right? I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I always thought about this. I understand they trying to make more money, but I also thought, like, what else was the catch? And now we know they probably doing something to that shit. Always told people, don't go to that dispensary, fool. Medical reports are saying they are seeing an increased rise in patients coming into the hospital with extreme nausea, nonstop vomiting, and stomach pain to like an 8-10. And they said sometimes it be extreme dehydration cases too. And they said it's all linked to heavy THC over time. And they said what makes it scary is they try to use regular meds on it that they usually do, and now it's not working. They said some of the people that got the symptoms and it went away, right? So when they started blowing down again, the symptoms came right back. And the only way the symptoms would stop for them is if they stopped for a while. So whether you eat it or blow down, it's just something to be aware of. Like I said, they don't know if it's linked to the goddamn dispensaries, but I'm just letting y'all know. Ever since they got in the dispensaries and shit just been going up, the THC and all that, people been seeing signs of this. Y'all let me know down below in the comments. Have y'all got any symptoms like this from blowing down on the trees or nah? And let me know how y'all feel about this down below.
I mean, I said this before, like, I'm sure when these dispensaries first started opening up, like, yeah, it's medicine, we just want to, do better. But once you start making money and you're like, damn, this stuff from China is a lot cheaper than the stuff from California. It's half the price. Same THC levels, right? Stronger. I mean, when I was smoking back in the day, like, we were smoking Reggie. We were lucky if we came across some good, dro or whatever, right? Some Kush or something, right? We were lucky if we came around that. Back in my day, we were smoking Reggie 20 bags and stuff. So, now you can go get things 50% THC now. So I'm sure they're putting stuff in there to make it a little more addicting, right? So that, you keep going back. I'm sure.
Speak at the United Nations event 9 times. And one of those events she got recorded at. Before she went up there to go and talk, there was a young man out there that was basically giving out all of Ghislaine's accolades.
Ghislaine Maxwell is founder and president of the Terramar Project, a nonprofit whose mission is to create a global ocean community to protect and promote sustainable development of the ocean. Ghislaine is easily one of the smartest, most fascinating people I've ever met. This is proven by the fact that she holds a bachelor's and master's degree from Oxford University, is a private helicopter pilot, a trained EMT, a qualified ROV, which I had to look up what that was, and a deep worker submarine pilot, in addition to being fluent in 4 languages. This is what I had written down before I realized that she spoke at the UN 9 times since the last time I saw her. So with that, I'd like to welcome Ghislaine Maxwell.
Thank you. Excellent. Good afternoon.
She was talking about how you were able on her website to buy parts of the ocean, parcels, and that would be your spot, which is kind of weird. They would wait for hurricanes, you wait for natural disasters. This is common sense. You wait for natural disasters, you wait for a hurricane.
Or create one.
People that are in trouble, third world countries. Kids get lost, out and about. They snatch them, they're gone. They throw them on a submarine. They go under, they're protected by Terramar. And they pull up. And they stay underwater. Where do they pull up? Who else has a submarine bunker? Epstein Island. Let me show you guys I found a picture. This was super hard to find. This is like a real layout. Like an actual layout of the island. And they take the kids, and there's a submarine bay on the side of the cliff under the water. They bring them in there, and from what I've read, the water gets pushed out. They exit the submarine.
So for anyone who doesn't know, Sam Altman, right, is the guy who co-founded OpenAI and basically helped bring ChatGPT into the world. And now here's where it gets creepy, okay? He's kind of weird anyway, but his name, when you think about it, it's just there in plain sight. Sam means God has heard. Altman means altered man. So when you put them together, the message becomes God has heard that man is trying to alter man. Once humanity tries to upgrade what God has already perfected, Atlantis 2.0. Everything's going to start to crack. You can imitate creation, you can twist it, you can manipulate it, but you can't replace it. So the name stops being just a name. It turns into a prophecy. I'm really looking up names right now. It's crazy. It's like a neon sign saying God has heard that man wants to become something else. And that's exactly when everything in the story goes sideways. So let me ask you, honestly, have you ever looked up the meanings of names like this? Like they're right in front of our face. Or did this kind of blow your mind?
The clip you just watched proved that they've been hiding among us for a very long time, yet no one manages to see them. Look closely at this young woman's face. If you really pay attention to the details, you must have noticed it. But this actually happened at the White House. This scene took place right after an ultra-important Q&A session about the recent news we've been seeing. The cameraman at the back of the room unknowingly filmed a young journalist in the crowd who had a strange demeanor. And you'll see that even from this angle, it seems we're dealing with something else entirely, something still unknown. In this moment, we see her stand up, and suddenly her face completely changes, as if she becomes someone else. And that's when the cameraman managed to capture the strange transformation of this woman's face. And the worst part is that even when she smiles, she gives off something truly unsettling. Watch this video several times to analyze her behavior properly, because it's really not normal. But wait, why is she smiling like that? Does she know something? Or did she see something unusual that made her smile that way? If you've been following from the start, you can find the answer by zooming in on the video. But be careful. Let me be clear that this video is not AI generated. It's fully real. Here's the name of the original video. It was posted on the Fox 9 Minneapolis St. Paul channel. And to find the exact moment I showed you, go to this timestamp, 1 hour and 4 minutes. You'll be able to see for yourself that all of this is real. Obviously, people can be skeptical, but this is starting to add up. Come back and tell me what you think after watching the original video. I absolutely need your opinion.
You guys do know that they're hunting humans as sport, right? You do know, have you ever heard of the butcher or baker, the butcher or baker, or the baker or butcher? He used to kidnap women and he would throw them into the forest and he'd hunt them. And that's exactly what the elites are doing. And that's the exact type of shit they were doing on Epstein Island. They were throwing girls into the middle of that island and letting rich elites hunt them. And God forbid if Hillary caught you. If Hillary caught you, you'll never be seen again. But that's the type of shit these elites are doing with their money. They're not just trafficking minors. They're hunting humans, and they are doing the most diabolical shit you've ever heard of. You don't even want to know what they do. that's a whole other topic for a whole other day. But these files, they're going to be so redacted because the things are just too diabolical for the world to see.
Look how many.
I mean, they showed us. They showed us what they do in the movies, like Hostel, right? What do they used to do in Hostel? They'd get these travelers that come into the hostel, the hotel, hot girls, invite them to the sauna, and all these things happening, partying, and then the next thing you know, you wake up and your friend's gone. And these billionaires pay, let's just say, $5 million to do open heart surgery, but they're not surgeons. You know what I mean? So they showed us what they do in these movies.
So-called whistleblowers they're bringing in. They're bringing in a massive army of whistleblowers that are trying to
with different
sway us.
stories, like
different stories.
elements.
That makes it interesting too. But their intent is to overwhelm us with these whistleblower stories, because how much evidence are they producing? Zero. It's, trust me, I know a guy, and this is what I
can't say what I want to say right now. Yeah.
So, you know, some people may fall for that, but I'm not falling for that. I mean, if you're going to claim that you got something, you need to show us, you know, because that's what disclosure is showing it, not just telling it.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm not going to take your word for it. These are the same guys that have been doing the PSYOP to try and cover up their secret aircraft that they've been developing for years and years. They've been using all of us that believe in this UFO phenomenon as their free cover-up for their secret aircraft to get developed. I'm all for keeping secret aircraft, you know, during development stage, because we have people out there that want that technology so that they can know how to come against us once we develop it. It's back and forth between a lot of the major nations, you know, that don't like us. So I'm all for keeping secrets. The whole thing that's sad, though, is they used us in this. The whole idea that we believe it's a flying saucer and not a aircraft that's being developed by one of the contractors out of Area 51, you know, that's free to them because they've got us believing that everything we see is extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
So they want to continue that. They really do, because they lose that cover if it's all blown. Do they have crash craft? I've yet to see any evidence of it. They say there is. So what I'm saying, is it possible that these entities can leave something for us to put our hands on? Absolutely. There's examples in scripture that angels have actually done that. Look at the staff that Moses had. That was a supernatural staff, you know, yet it was a physical staff that he could carry and walk with. But yet he threw it down in front of the Pharaoh's magicians. His theirs turned into snakes and his ate it up. That's pretty incredible ability there. But it's there. He was able to hold it. So yes, I think it's possible. I believe what we're dealing with is all a delusion. And I think, like you said, it's layered, and it's layered on purpose so that we never get the answer to it.
Talking about the Tartarians, man, they built this thing called the Crystal Palace, late 1800s. It was almost 1 million square feet.
Wow.
What?
Is this real or was this just drawn?
Tartarian technology. Yeah. And then the mud flood happened. The mud flood.
But if you're a burglar, you know what a Bob knock is. You knock on the door real quick and you're like, hey. If somebody answers the door, you're like, hey, you look at the number. If it says 210, you're like, hey, is Bob here? And they're like, no. Isn't this 230? And they'll be like, no, this is 210. And I'll be like, all right, no. So what I do is a Bob knock. I knock on the door first, and it's just to see if anybody's home.
Yeah.
And so I knock on the Canadian door. I get there. I put my bike on the side of the shed. I get there. I knock on the door. No answer. I pound. I usually give it about 2 or 3 knocks first, you know, some nice knocks. And then I start doom, 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 doom. Sometimes I'll hit the window a couple of times to see if somebody will come to the door. And I must have pounded on this door, I would say like 15 times, and nobody answered. So I pull the knife out and I jimmy the door. I get it open and I start robbing the house.
You already know there's not a dog or anything.
I already know there's not a dog, and I don't see the main vehicle there. So like I said, I gave it the Bob knock. Nobody answered the door. I'm thinking it's slap empty. So I start with the kitchen, because when you come in, the kitchen's to the right. And I'll never forget it, because this whole time in the house, like I said, empty. I'm thinking it's empty. And I start with the kitchen and I go in the cabinets. I start taking liquor bottles. I make my way to the office. I start going through stuff. There's like 3 pocketbooks in there. I end up finding like 7 grams of cocaine in a pocketbook. I gave that to my pops because, you know, that was his drug of choice. So I gave it to my pops. But long story short, I get all the way. I already ransacked like 3 or 4 rooms, right? I got bags of stuff that I'm setting on top of the counter that I'm getting ready to leave with. And I go to the last room, right? The suitcase, already got it. The suitcase is on the counter with everything else. It's bags. Dude, I got Tito's vodka out of the cabinets. I got everything, right? And a couple loose cash, loose bills and stuff. I didn't even go through the briefcase yet. But I'm in the back room and I start to, it's a very back room and they have one of these like, I would say,
please don't
like
cut off.
a sliding partition, like for a door, like you just slide it like that. And I get to the back and I start to slide it. And this lady the bed is direct. As soon as you open the door, this lady is naked, completely naked on the bed like this.
Did you hear what Kate?
I mean, it's at my place. I got 2 stories, right? So we don't let the dogs upstairs because they shed a lot. Their hair gets everywhere. So when I go to bed, it's kind of like they got the first floor, right? I think about it, right? They got the first floor. Anybody comes through, anyone's in the yard, anyone knocks. My little rat terrier, she's the barker. My Boone, my beagle, he only barks when it's serious. Like when there's someone at the door, he's going to bark. But if there's somebody riding a skateboard past, whatever, he doesn't really bark. But that beagle bark, anyone that's had a beagle, it shakes your whole brain, right? So that's my thing. Like when someone knocks on the door, they're barking, and that's why I like having them downstairs because they're like the first line of defense. You know, I'll hear everything before anything happens. But you know, hearing his tips, people knock on my door or ring my doorbell, and sometimes I won't say nothing. Now I got a Ring camera where I'm watching them. But, you know, I'm going to have to start. I didn't know that little trick, right? That they knock and when nobody answers, whatever. But, you know, now I'm going to start answering on that Ring camera and just telling them I'm not interested or whatever.
Sel just said on the Jimmy Kimmel show, she talked about how her daughter's boyfriend laid eggs. Listen to this.
He laid 2 eggs in a week, is what the bright spot was.
Who did?
The boyfriend did.
He laid 2 eggs in a week. Is that a British thing?
No, he's from New Jersey. He's a Jew from New Jersey.
And then she goes on to talk about how he actually laid an egg, an actual egg. Now, could this be a code word for something else because of Hollywood and the way they like to use code words? I really don't know. I really don't. But it is very strange indeed because, again, they are among us. You always have to pay attention to everything. And the fact that she is openly talking about this should show you and tell you all that you need to know. That they openly admit to what's really going on, what's really happening. And they openly admit that this is actually true.
This 19-year-old girl disappeared after revealing that how she escaped the system and travel full-time. Let's listen it.
Remember, my friends, life is a video game, and you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, at any time of any day. All you need to do is understand that you have to spawn, you have to place your video game character where you want it. Right now, as an American 19-year-old girl, I'm in Thailand, and I'm at this beautiful temple. Look at that, and there's monks behind me meditating back there. And I'm out here exploring the world. 3 years ago from today, I never thought this would be possible. I could experience these things and do these things as a girl from a small town. Life is a video game. You play it like a video game, and you play yourself like your character. You are on levels. And you can choose to pass the level or keep going over and over and over and replaying that same level. You're sitting here right now watching this video, maybe in your bedroom, maybe at 3 a.m., maybe dreading school the next day. Exams coming.
Yeah, no, I don't think she meant it like that. What she's saying is you have control over your own destiny, y'all. Like I'm not a big fan of him, right? But he does drop some gems sometimes. And Andrew Tate, there was one clip I saw of him that he said, "Life will give you whatever you want. If you want $1 million, if you want this car, if you want just to be happy in life, whatever your happiness is, life will give it to you." He made it he did a metaphor saying, I've never seen one person that went to the gym religiously, that ate a clean diet religiously, not get in shape and get to where their goals, hit their goals of fitness. I've never seen it once. Ate clean consistently and worked out consistently. There has never been one time that someone hasn't reaped the benefits from that, because the world will give you what you want. You just have to put the work in, right? And believe. I truly believe in that, y'all. I truly believe what this lady was saying. Coming from me, y'all, like, life has really changed. But the thing is, I've always known that I was going to get to where I'm at. I didn't know it was going to be from YouTube, but I knew one day. I just felt it in my soul, y'all. I just felt it in my soul. And that's what you got to get to. You got to watch the right things. You got to read the right things. You got to listen to the right things and start changing this up here.
Somebody had invited me to Bella Thorne's party, and it was like the night of Halloween. This before I was like really safe. Now I don't celebrate Halloween. I hope you don't.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah. It was like so many signs, but then one of the signs, to get into the party, you had to prick your blood in your finger to get in. And I was like, oh no.
And people were just doing that?
Yeah.
Everyone was.
Everybody I went with did it. I left.
So they're all just bleeding out the finger in the middle of the party, like getting blood all over their clothes. And shit.
No, like in order to get in, you gotta do that.
And there's actually, I know which party you're talking about. There's like a step 2 of the higher floors, the richer people.
Oh, the elites.
They give you a glass of blood and see if you do it, and then you go with them, and they have these parties. But they won't let you in unless you do that Cat Williams thing where you drink the cup of blood. He didn't do it. Remember Cat? They destroyed his career, but he saw which rooms they're all having. You know everyone there, so I don't want you to talk about it too much.
Police body cam footage of a real life possession. The cops get called to a church, right? Yeah. They see a man just standing in the middle of the altar staring at the cross, and apparently like he was like wreaking havoc inside the church, trying to steal stuff, trying to take down like the cross, and he was just basically being crazy in there, right? And the people in the church were telling him, relax, you don't have to do nothing, but that's why they ended up calling the cops, right? So the cops get there, and this is what the body cam footage captured.
Hello, sir. The deputy rolled into the sheriff's office. How are you?
I'm alright.
Okay, so what's going on today?
Just need to open this.
Well, we can't really do that. That's the church's property.
Okay.
Fall back.
Wait, he does that multiple times?
So how'd you end up here today?
Because I'm Jesus.
I mean, for me to help you, you have to talk to me.
I'm telling you, bro. What is wrong with him?
What the?
Yo, what the?
Get back! 20, step up, 660. No!
Wildin', bro. All right.
I'm ready to see. I am here. And you will see me again.
Well, America, you ready to be at war with Venezuela? Because that's what you got. Donald Trump just announced that he's closed the airspace over that country. And because, one, that's a violation of their sovereignty. And number two, because it's being enforced with our military, it constitutes an act of war. So that's where we're at. No congressional oversight, no declaration of war. It's based upon a foundation of lies, from saying TDA was a gang connected to Maduro that was wreaking havoc in America, to saying he's a narco trafficker and responsible for drugs coming into the U.S., when in fact he supplies those drugs to Europe. And on top of all that, he just let the former president of Honduras, who brought 400 tons into this country, facing 45 years in prison. He pardoned him. He doesn't give a shit about drugs. So we're starting a war. Don't know why. Nobody knows what's going on. It's going to go bad because if you look at the trajectory into it, it's the worst we've had in modern history. So buckle up.
There was a lot of people in the Amazon. There's still, 20, 30 million people that live in the Amazon today. What's interesting when you go around, let's say we're on the river for 2 weeks, you go through places where you could tell by the vegetation that it's completely wild primary forest. There's giant kapok trees, there's ironwood trees. If you go really wild, there's even mahogany trees still. Incredible primary climactic forest out there. Then you get to a confluence where there's 2 rivers. And suddenly you'll see like a banana tree. Well, somebody stopped there and dropped it because bananas were engineered in Asia and came over. So obviously somebody that had some connection to the outside world at some point stops there, and that's how that got there. So we know that. And so that's where you start to see this. The crazy thing is that these guys all know. My local team, if you ask 15 days past the last village by boat, they'll tell you, oh yeah, there's you can go for 15 days and it's totally wild, but then there's this one spot where we do find pot. Pre-uncontacted tribes. You're talking about
6,000 years ago, 8,000 years ago.
I don't know. I don't know how many thousands of years ago, but you're talking about more than 500 years ago.
Listen to what The Rock says here.
I left my soul on this one. I know it sounds weird, but you leave your soul for something like this. And I didn't know what that meant until I did it, and now I understand. And
United States, how would you solve this homeless crisis?
I hate to say it, and this is probably going to sound insensitive, but there's only one way. You have to get rid of the problem and start over. Just go in with fucking tractors and trailers. It's got to go. Give them a chance. You got to go. We don't care where you go, but you're not living like this anymore. Maybe they have to pass. I think what happened, what I heard was they never had city ordinance wrote. They never thought they'd have to deal with people living on a freeway or living on a street. So they never had laws to enact. At the same time, I've also heard that the police have been told to stand down because literally they're catching them with bags of meth. They're catching them. I was in downtown LA doing a food drive a couple weeks ago. The cops are driving by as a woman is sitting on a bus bench on 5th and Spring or St. Julian, nude. Let me say it again. She was naked, slamming heroin. The cops drive by, slowly watch it, and continue to drive. Dude, in my day, you're going to jail for a nickel of marijuana. Right. A nickel of marijuana would send you to jail. Nowadays, they don't even care that. They just don't care, and it's insane.
This is your warning not to play with mirrors. Just a regular game of rock, paper, scissors. Scissors? Watch this. Watch. That's not her hand. That's not her hand in that mirror. Some cultures do not believe in having mirrors in the house. They're literally thought to trap the soul if you look into them. Remember, if you're going to play with mirrors, do it around other people so they don't think you're crazy when you say something crazy happened. As always, thank you for watching. Stay weird.
Steph Chambers caught something pretty chilling on camera. Take a look.
Okay, so this is what I happened to find on my security camera. If you keep watching on the road, you'll see a headless pedestrian. Not sure if it's a ghost, not sure what. It's just extremely crazy. So I figured I'd share it with you guys. There it goes, walking down the road. And this also isn't the only sighting.
What the heck?
And then disappears.
His
And the
head in
camera's
his
still
hand.
rolling. And then disappears. And the camera's still rolling. Disappears. And the camera's still rolling. And you'll see a white truck pass. This is all, none of it's edited. This is all real footage.
Steph is clearly unsettled by this walking corpse, but I see nothing wrong with someone who just wanted to clear their head.
Yeah, it's a shame. Top 3 blood sacrifices. Let's go. Look at this slime ball. DC Young Fly is not funny, and he had to smoke his doggone girl just to get on. Then say she had a fucking tummy tuck and that's what the fuck happened. Negro, please. You know what the fuck happened. You gotta pay up. Just like every dog in the industry. Every fool in the industry gonna have to pay up. Somebody got to die. You gonna have to do something. Yeah, whole family smoked in one night. Damn, Jennifer. Look at the little boy like, what the fuck? No, auntie, why you kill me? Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens when you play with the fucking devil. Now you got a TV show. Now you doggone American Idol. You did a lot, bitch. And look what the fuck happened. And here you have another motherfucker. Yeah, she was about to tell all. What happened to Diddy? He just in jail now, but yeah. He had to sacrifice this motherfucker. And everybody that was on Bad Boy, I can show you. It's coming up. These slime balls will pay. Because I'm finna expose them all again. Hey, I told y'all, I'm the black fucking rabbit. What I say goes.
If it's so
Guys,
bad,
watch this to the
why
end.
did you all go there?
Well, Jimmy, hell is where our agents make our deals with the devil.
Oh, that explains that.
Cold, but we're going to hell.
Hey, I have a question. Has anyone here ever actually been to hell?
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone?
Of course, yeah.
What's it like?
Well,
hell's terrible, Jimmy. It really is.
This wasn't a random joke. It was aired on late night TV with millions watching, celebrities laughing about going to hell. It might sound harmless, but words carry power. Think about it. Why would you joke about eternal suffering? Comedy has always been used to hide the truth in plain sight, and when comedians push it too close to reality, the shows suddenly get cancelled. Even saying those words over and over again is like speaking a curse into existence. What if humour is just a mask used to make darkness look harmless? Let me know your thoughts and comments down below.
If you look at this video real close and look in the back, you're going to see something so tall that has to be a giant walking behind them trees. Look at how tall those trees are. And look at that figure just back there walking. Now, you can't tell me this video right here is not mind-blowing. And look at this. Like, who is that walking like that? Like, that is not no bird, no animal. Whatever that is very tall.
Leaked video footage, allegedly originating from the Uintah County Sheriff's Department, located just miles from Skinwalker Ranch, have surfaced online, and they're sending shockwaves through the paranormal community.
Hold the light right there. Sir, you okay? Stay with me. Oh my God. Back up. Move.
Grainy body cam footage reportedly shows officers responding to reports of movement near an abandoned property when a pale, emaciated figure appears from the darkness. Witnesses describe its elongated shoulders, ashen skin, and narrow, claw-like feet that click against the gravel as it moves. Officers can be heard gasping before the entity darts behind a fence with inhumane speed. Experts and skeptics alike are baffled, with some calling it evidence of a dogman-type humanoid, a creature long dismissed as internet folklore. In the audio, one voice whispers, "What is that?" moments before the video cuts abruptly. Whether an elaborate hoax or a glimpse of something never meant to be seen, the Uintah County leak adds yet
It's amongst us. Here's a clip showing Britney Spears talking about how she saw a lizard on a date. A man turned into a lizard. Now the audience is laughing like, ha ha ha. They think she's joking. She's not joking. And she's not the only one. Princess Diana said it about the royal family. Jeffrey Epstein's victims said it about him. And it's well documented. Now, what I'm trying to do is also connect it to the world elites, and you see them being cruel in Gaza, in Serbia, in many countries, in Tanzania, in Nepal, in Sudan. Why is this happening? Is something else the cause? Take a look at Britney Spears' clip.
Well, I will say there's been 2 days that have been kind of cool, but other than that, it's too much. It's like I went with this one guy and he looked like a lizard. Like I was so scared. Like he was saying this and I turned him. I was like, oh my God. I was like, holy shit, he looks just like a lizard, and I had to go. It was really bad.
So you just left? Wow.
Immediately.
No one going to judge you for that. But I need to ask, which one of your friends set you up with the lizard man?
I know, I was so mad. I called him. I was very angry.
And did you say he's a lizard?
Yes. And he said, oh my God, his pictures, I guess it's just, he doesn't look that in the picture.
So who are you looking for? What are you looking for?
Proof that Hollywood is evil.
I just tell you something about that belly room also, and it brings up something, the scariest thing I've ever seen up there. One night at 2 a.m, I was hanging out there, okay? And they go, you know, you can hang out here, but upstairs they're doing something, but you cannot go up there in the belly room. Like, it's closed. Who gives a He's like, there's something going up there. Do not go up there. But I went up there. You know, the back entrance? Up the black. I opened up that back thing, right? It's pitch black in there, but I see candles, right? I swear to God, I saw this. 15 people wearing hoods and purple cloaks. Okay? And they're chanting. Right? And then, so I go back downstairs and I wait to see. They come down after the seance. You know who I saw? One of them was Lily Tomlin. Okay? The second one was Bob Zamuda. You know Bob Zamuda? And they were seancing Andy Kaufman's ghost.
Bobby is referencing none other than the infamous Comedy Store in Los Angeles, which is said to be haunted, and that's a whole different rabbit hole. He would go on later in that interview to talk about how they can hear babies crying from that same room in the middle of the night. Other people have hypothesized that there is a portal in that very same room he saw all those people in hooded cloaks. Something tells me they weren't really seancing Andy Kaufman. Wake up.
Well, some people say the famous belly room is where they used to do aborts, right? That's why they call it the belly room. I don't know. Never been there. Not really a fan of stand-up comedy. Don't think I'll ever go there. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. You made it this far. You know what to do. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Today's baby day, so not much going on today. Busy day tomorrow, but I'm going to make sure I put up a video for you guys before I get going with all my chores. But today I set up I didn't do a video yesterday because I bought a desk, right? Black Friday, nice desk. I needed a nice desk to do my videos, so I put that together yesterday. I love it. It's dope. I just need to buy a couple more accessories for the desk, like a nice keyboard, wireless keyboard. And I think after that, I'll be pretty much set for my setup to go into the 2026 year, y'all. So, you know, hoping for big things in 2026. Hope you guys have some big things. If you know, just move, just walk, just do what you know you need to do, as well as me. I know what I need to do. It's just a matter of doing it, executing the plan, right? So hope everyone out there has a good day. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow on the next one. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the man cave. I'll see y'all then. Later.